It began deep in the night beneath the Virgo blood moon. It was the year of the wood snake, and I was guided to board up my windows for the night. This blood moon was said to thin the veil between worlds, specifically between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m. During this time, dark, malevolent, and vengeful energies would bleed into our realm from beyond. Normally, I would never pay mind to a Facebook post, however, this was different and would change everything. The images I saw in that video bore a striking resemblance to the face of a woman I once knew. Not the mask she showed to the world, but one she kept hidden, maybe even from herself. A long, narrow face with an open, slack jaw and pupils so dilated I swear I couldn't see the whites in her eyes. Just one glimpse shot cold lightning up my spine and stabbed the center of my mind like an ice pick. I never considered demons could be real until I looked into those eyes and saw the abyss. As the night progressed, a quiet terror began to rise within me. I had not thought of her for a long while now, finally free, yet now it felt as though her presence was drawing closer with every passing hour. I began to sweat, attempted to soothe myself by blasting rom-coms through my computer headphones. I even covered the guest room window with my old Beethoven blanket, foolishly hoping it would trick her into stalking the wrong room. 2 a.m., the veil opened with an explosion outside my window, a thunderclap so long and violent it sounded as though bombs were being dropped all across town. Then it began to rain. I dared not look outside for fear of seeing those two bottomless pits staring back at me through the window glass. I used a drill to screw a thick down blanket over my window. I made sure it was stretched tight beyond the frame so that no light could enter or escape the sanctuary of my room. Regardless, I could feel her standing just outside my window, numb from the relentless downpour of rain. Terror began to surface as my heart beat wildly in my chest. Anxiety is an old friend of mine, one who taught me how to breathe through the storm. I began to sweat as an uncontrollable pressure began building all around me. My body felt like it was a sponge being squeezed as fear itself oozed from the pores of my skin. Normally, I would have been more concerned with my health. Was I having a heart attack? A thyroid storm? Should I get help? But it never crossed my mind. I was haunted by ghostly faces and possessed by the funny moving pictures in front of me. 4 a.m. arrived. The thunder that had been roaring for the past 2 hours stopped, but the rain continued for another 15 minutes or so. I was still alone. My room felt hollow. Relief settled in for a moment as the air felt unnaturally still. Then, another lightning strike came, only this time it erupted inside my mind. In an instant, a single image flashed before my eyes, accompanied by a high-pitched scream and the sound of smashed metal. I was a tree looking into the front windshield of a hatchback that was inches from colliding with me head-on. The driver was a woman with white hair, a long-jawed, open-mouthed face, and eyes like onyx stones. She was white-knuckling the steering wheel, but I couldn't tell if the crash was an accident or intentional. The hallucination came and went with the speed and power of a hammer striking an anvil at full force. What followed was the sensation of yolk oozing down and around my scalp as though someone cracked an egg on top of my head. The trickling continued as I was overwhelmed with a powerful realization. No one was coming for me, only a shadow surfacing from the deepest corner of my mind. The gears of my subconscious began turning as I began to realize that I was becoming the very thing that I had feared most in others. My trust was shattered at a young age, so much so that I couldn't even trust myself with the knowledge that I was potentially broken. That memory that had been long buried was now at the forefront of my mind. I had lived a life dissociating, never truly connecting with others because I refused to connect with myself. My unwillingness to trust others left me vulnerable to those who would deceive me. Without honest connection, intuition is absent or naive at best. My inner child's attempts to protect itself would blindly manifest the very thing it had feared most time and time again. Being tricked, taken advantage of, and thrown under the bus for the world to mock. The greatest devil I have faced seems to have been myself all along. The mask fell, my heart opened, tears of joy streamed down my face, and then I passed out.